Welcome to another episode of Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics. Yes, well, this time we're going to take a trip into outer space with Space War. Yes, from Carlton Publications, the people that brought you Blue Beetle and Captain Atom and all that. So decades before Star Wars, there was Space War. This issue, I didn't catch what number it was of Space War. Well, you're out of luck on that one. Let's see, it contains the stories The Sunmaker, Planet of No Return, and Moon Trap. Moon Trap. And there was a contest to win a Buster Crab swimming pool. Yeah, well, it's too late to enter it. Anyway, we're not going to deal with those bottom stories. We're going to go with the main one, Abandoned Spaceship. The impact that shakes the very frame of your great craft tells you that you've been hit by a huge object. Then the words dreaded by all spacemen crackles over the ship's intercom, Abandoned Spaceship. The Space Patrol would have its first chance to test the space lifeboats, but under emergency conditions, and the crew would have an even greater experience. Well, it's not the one they signed up for, I'm sure. UN Space Patrol 40, huh? Yeah, that'll be the day. So there they are in their space boats. We're adrift, Captain! Steady with the rocket. It all happened so quickly. Only minutes before, the crew was celebrating the birthday of the first mate. Happy birthday, Jerry! Happy birthday,
Terrible damage, sir! It's only a matter of minutes before the inner walls collapse!
It looks like the crew's all passed out drunk. Well, anyway. Abandoned Spaceship. That's it, just give up and let's get the hell out of here. The crew sped down to the space lifeboat to leave their doomed patrol ship. We are about 3 days' journey from Earth. The voyage will be cramped, but we'll manage.
Oh man, and we're all out of deodorant!
Speedily, the men entered the small craft, which was their only means of salvation. Soon the men were free from their disabled ship, and now had the long voyage ahead of them. It was late on the second day of their lifeboat journey that they saw the familiar continental outlines of Earth.
Look! Another meteorite! It's coming alongside us!
Pilot, change our course away from it, or its gravity will attract us.
Aye, aye, sir.
But before the lifeboat could attempt that, the pilot was powerless to maneuver the lifeboat. It was gripped by the magnetic attraction of the larger body. As the spaceboat was irresistibly pulled toward the large meteorite, the men saw a most unexpected sight. Look! That looks like a gap opening up in it.
We're being drawn into it.
What is this thing? Perhaps it's not a meteorite. They found themselves in a room surrounded by strange beings. They're gesturing for us to get out. You men remain in the ship. I alone will go.
Yeah, okay, Cap.
Through the use of universal telepathy, they conversed.
We are from another universe. We witnessed your accident.
Did you collide with us?
No, that was a meteorite. We have detained you only to study your escape ship so that we can build one like it. You see, our spaceship is hopelessly disabled for the long journey back to our own world.
Yeah, you said a meteorite, but I can't help but notice your ship looks like a meteorite. But anyway, in a very short time, the strange being seemed satisfied with the inspection.
Thank you. We have learned how to duplicate your spaceboat. Farewell.
Again, the men from Earth were out in space. And so now they have all your technological secrets and stuff, but that'll work out.
Look, they've already built a duplicate of our own lifeboat.
They're destroying their disabled spaceship. They've dissolved it so it won't bump into other spaceships.
Yes, and I guess we can chalk up this to another strange adventure in the UN Space Patrol.
This was just awful. I mean, last week's Crime Buster had more intrigue. Epilogue, the aliens return knowing all the military secrets of the Earth and enslave it. So, well, there you go. The UN Space Patrol in Space War. Because, look, it's called Space War. All right. Well, I guess they're conquering outer space, the elements of living in outer space. So that's the war, I suppose. Yeah, so I think adding on my original epilogue to this can make the title fit. Oh, boy. Well, I don't think Star Wars has anything to worry about as competition from this type of stuff. Although lately, maybe so, after that Last Jedi disaster. Oof. Well, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this little time you've shared with me, reading you a comic book story, and we'll do it again next weekend for another edition of Mr. Nailsin's Sunday Comics. Oh, won't that be fun? In the meantime, why don't you check out the link description below that has links to my mini stores that has plenty of goodies for you. One link in particular will lead you to my sci-fi store where my many films are there. Yeah, well, they're not my films. They're public domain films that I've given my poor man's Mystery Science Theater treatment to. And they're dirt cheap. So head over there and you can spend even more time with Mr. Nailsin and watch some old movies with me. Yeah, won't that be great? Thanks. Plus, it'll go a long way to help me produce even more videos and, of course, my podcast on RadioMisfits.com. That's the Mr. Nailsin Show, again, on RadioMisfits.com. New episodes every Wednesday and Saturday. Yeah. Well, again, thanks for listening and watching, and we'll do it again next weekend.